Did you ever wonder why the Jews and the Zionists are so violent and aggressive and genocidal and refuse to stop killing their neighbors? Well, the concept of Herem in Jewish religion is basically to sacrifice to God through the act of annihilation and destruction. This concept has been established in the Bible, in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 20, for thousands of years, where the biblical God instructs and commands the Israelis to utterly destroy their enemies and sacrifice them for the sake of God by killing every man, woman, and children, by killing cattle and sheep and donkeys, and by destroying the entire city of their enemies. And this concept is referred to as Herem. And this is why they will always attempt to ethnic cleanse and annihilate their neighbors in the Canaan territory, where they perceive as their promised territory and promised land. And it's not just nations and people living within the promised land territory are to be targeted. In the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 20, the biblical God differentiates between two types of nations. Nations who live within the promised land territory, and they are to be dealt with by offering them a peace offering. And this peace offering is not really a peace offering. It's referred to as a peace offering, yet it is when these nations open the doors of their cities without fighting and agree to be enslaved and subject to forced labor to the Israelis. And only then the men are to be killed, and only then they are to be spared because they are enslaved, or else if they refuse, the men are to be killed, and all the men are to be killed, and the women and the cattle and the sheep, basically their possessions, and the entire city is to be taken as plunder. The second type of people or nations are those who live far away from the territory, and they do not live within the territory of the promised land. These nations are not to be offered any peace offering, meaning they are not to be offered to surrender willingly and be subject to forced labor and enslavement. They are to be utterly killed, annihilated completely, ethnic cleansed. Men, women, and children, and their possessions are to be destroyed completely. Their cities are to be burned. And this is the concept of Herem. This is the establishment of the code of conduct when it comes to warfares and dealing with other nations in the Jewish religion. And this is why they continue to ethnic cleanse and kill and slaughter without mercy their neighbors, those who live within the promised land territory, and those who live outside the promised land territory, because they perceive it as a sacrifice to God. They perceive these war crimes, they perceive genocide and ethnic cleansing of other nations, the killing of innocent men, women, and children, as an act of worship.